Yeah. How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the new build that I was running for Gemma to do deep space with the cast on crit Gemma build. We are using a Imperial Might now and an Eternity. The Imperial Might I ended up buying. I paid like 1100 FE I think at the time. I just looked for one with this high defense from helmet, gloves, and boots. And basically I bought that. It was like 1100 FE. I got lucky enough that it happened to have +1 max res on it as well, which was really nice. If you are trying to min-max this, of course, you can buy one with this 2% aura effect or with more sealed mana. You're gonna, you'll have a better one probably in regards to being able to run slightly more auras or things like that. But I just wanted as much pure ES as I could possibly get. So this is what I'm running. I feel like this ES value is even bugged here. Sometimes it bugs out for whatever reason. And then basically from the last video, the other changes that were made is I am using an Eternity. We did buy this. I just wanted one that had a high roll on the Eternal Shadow here, just for more movement speed stacks, as well as I just looked for one that had like a decently high roll on some of these other stacks here. Yeah, this one I think ended up costing me about 400 FE. Same thing. And then I did end up crafting a helmet over the last helmet here. So I did basically craft a helmet. If you are going to buy one of these, you can just buy it already with max Terra charge stacks +1 and with T1 affliction. That would be my recommendation. You don't need the aura effect. You probably are going to have res issues like me if you do have aura effect there. So if I didn't have aura effect, I could craft res and my res would actually be done. But other than that, I've had to go to some pretty extreme measures to actually hit my res values. I did have to recraft this ring and craft it with elemental res and erosion resist. As well as I did end up hitting like a T0 erosion resistance on my gloves, which though I lost a little bit ES because I recrafted this for erosion res here. And then even on my candles, I had to basically purchase and use a candle with res on each. So I'm using a Soul Eater candle with elemental res, and then I'm using a +1 max Terra candle with elemental res as well. Outside of that, everything else is still the same for the build from the prior video. We are using Precise Imbue or Ice Imbue for all of our mapping. If you are going to be doing hard bossing stuff, you can just go back to the same build from before, where you are using the frigid domain and things like that. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll leave you here with some footage from some 8-4 deep space from earlier. And now I'm going to go ahead and be starting on a moto build for the people that have been waiting for it. See you in the next one. Yeah, so the other little things that we have made adjustments to in the build are going to be in regards to the tree. I did actually make some small adjustments because of using the Imperial Might chest. I no longer needed the sealed mana here in the Arcanist tree. So I did end up moving the points from there over into this wheel from Psychic here for this extra damage and extra damage against crowd controlled enemies. I did have some points here in cooldown recovery as well that I have since moved over here to this. So far from the build, my experience with it in 8-4 is that you are reliant on the Eternity buffs, and you can definitely feel it when you do not have them when you are fighting certain bosses. And you do still have a tendency to randomly get one shot even with 27,000 ES or with 20,000 ES. Part of that's probably the fact that I have only 30% erosion resist, and I don't actually have any damage reduction on anything, right? Like we have a couple, like we have a blur slate, right? So we're running this, we have a little bit of chance at blur here. I did end up swapping a slate back on. I took off the one that had affliction on it, this +1 cold and +6 affliction stacks. I did replace this with immediately starting energy shield or energy shield charge when it gets low. And then I have this slate here for blur. And then I'm using this slate here, which is restoring missing ES on severe injury. If you did want to min-max this and take it really, really far, I think your best thing to do would be to run a Versatile with a slate that ran Versatile and what is it called? Curtain from Steel Vanguard here. Because this would be your best bet at actually sustaining really, really high. Because basically you're going to restore 40% of your missing ES every time you lose a barrier. So because you have 17,000 ES, recovering 40% of that's going to be massive. There is a Curtain and Versatile slate that's up right now. It is like 800, 900 ES, or 900 FE. If you want to just keep an eye on it, more should pop up. That is going to be your best bet at defenses. If you can do that. So that would be kind of the recommendation for defenses. Outside of that, you can just go the pure DPS version. Don't run the Escaping the Magic Ice, and just run the DPS relic, where you're just getting the -1 cold pulse along with the extra damage that we have against frozen enemies or whatnot. That's going to be kind of entirely up to you whether or not you want to do that. For me, I was running this because I was still trying to, maybe accidentally level to 98. But realistically, what you can do is you can still just swap these in the middle of a fight if you need to, if you have just a boss. Or you can even swap your other neck back on. Like if you just have a necklace with, T0 affliction effect, swap this back on when you're fighting some bosses. And then swap it back afterwards if you need to. Same thing with swapping back on the Frigid Domain if you need to as well. So, yeah, again, if you have any questions or recommendations, leave them down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And again, see you in the next one. Okay, let's remember to not waste the God of War this time. No wasting. And this truly is like a different game though, when this is like going and proccing. Like, how does anyone see this and not be like, oh yeah, that's definitely the build I want to play?